Hey, what's up everyone? I'm just making this video regarding something that some of you might want to see, and it's regarding the freedom of speech. Now, not only do I have several things to talk about, but first is, all regarding the freedom of speech, by the way, is Kanye West. Kanye West delivered a pro-Trump speech at the end of Saturday Night Live. Now, of course, the majority of the audience, of course, they booed him, but there was a few members in there that clapped for his freedom of expression. There were reports of people that were basically just bombarding him with hate. Now, first of all, the left side, whatever you want to call them, liberals, left side, leftists, they always talk about love, peace and love. And yet, if your opinion differs from theirs, or your views differ from theirs at all, they suddenly hate you. It's amazing how much hate they put out to be so filled with so-called love. That's all I have to say about the whole love and hate thing in politics and those persuading media outlets to persuade people's minds and control people's minds. Kanye West did a speech that had a lot of truth in it. You can look it up on YouTube, Kanye West's speech before it's gone, from at the end of Saturday Night Live. Now, I missed it last night. I didn't get to see it. I don't even pay much attention to SNL. But he was replacing Ariana Grande as the musical guest because she wasn't able to show up, so Kanye came on there and he delivered an unexpected speech. And he talked about how they're controlling people's minds. And when did it become so? I mean, if you let Trump do some of the things he wants to do instead of bombarding him with all of that hate, start putting out love. And if you don't agree, then just wait till the next term, vote differently, whatever. If you don't agree, stop hating so much. That's basically what he was saying. And he feels woke about everything. He feels awakened about people's minds are being controlled. You can't think for yourself. You can't state your own opinions. You can't do anything out of the way of what they consider the normal. But yet they love you, put out love, 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 and they promote love if you agree with exactly what they want to, their terms. That's it. Nothing else. If you differ whatsoever from what they feel, then you're hated, which is the very thing. I remember when Trump got elected, people said, there's going to be bloodshed, and there will be blood sacrifice for what you've done. Really? And then they're promoting love. Really? I'm sure you remember. It was all over the news. I actually recorded it on my tablet. That they were promoting love, but yet spreading hate and talking about murder on the live news, and they did nothing about it. So that was when he was elected. People are still as crazy now as they were then. Now, actually, if not crazier. But Kanye West had some very good points. And he's promoting freedom of thought, freedom of expression, and thinking for yourself. So, and of course they hate that because all of the media and everyone hates that. But first of all, when you were a Republican, or you supported a Democrat, it was just whatever. Okay, well, we didn't get our way, we wait till next time, we'll see what happens. Or, back when I was in school, if someone was a Democrat, supported Democrats, okay. If someone was a Republican, okay. I differ from you, but they didn't want to kill you. Like I stated in a previous video, they didn't hate you. Not always. Not as much as they do now. And usually, the other side, the Republican side, or the right-wing side, as they call it, conservative side, you don't really see them throwing a fit and hatred on anyone, threatening murder, threatening to kill someone, let alone threatening to kill the president, for crying out loud. I mean, when did it become about? Used to, when I was growing up, everyone universally, pretty much, thought that the Democrats were for the poor people, to help the poor people, and Republicans were for the rich people. They just went out golfing, and they were all for the rich people. And it seems to have switched now. It seems like the Democrats try to screw people over, mess people over anymore. The liberals do, and the Democrats do, and control people. While the conservatives, or the Republican side, seems like they're trying to help people and be for the people more now. Not always. You've got good and bad in all of them. I mean, you have rotten apples in every bunch. Most every bunch, they say. I mean, obviously, you got people that do wrong in every single group. I mean, have you seen some of the politicians, many of them, what they do with a lot of their money? The things they go to, the things they do, the things they spend taxpayers' money on? I mean, it's been reported all over the news. Some of it they just hush. When Clinton was on TV, they tried to get him for harassment since this Me Too movement has come about. And I guarantee you, after Trump's out of office, when that happens, whenever that is, they'll try their best to make it this next term, make him be out of office this next term, but I guarantee you that the Me Too movement will stop. It might not, but I guarantee you they won't talk about it much at all. It'll just be swept under the rug, and sadly, so many people that really do actually go through the violence and the abuse will just have to go on through the same thing, and they won't even pay any attention to it in the media. People actually going through real issues that are... I've seen a lot of things in this crazy world. A lot of bad things happen to a lot of good people, and a lot of people in general just have bad things happen to them. And it's wrong. Any type of abuse or violence is wrong, in my opinion. That's just not my opinion. That's just universally should be right. But people do a lot of crazy crap and mean, hateful things. But they're taking advantage of it and using this hashtag to the Me Too movement to just get their way, in my opinion. Like many people, I don't even think that this Kavanaugh trial would have even been mentioned or happened had they not been trying to... I did a poll on Twitter as well, and it was 50-50. I mean, not 50-50. It was 68%. I'm sorry. That was on a different poll that I did. It was 68% thought that they wouldn't have even focused on it had it not been a Republican. What do you all think? I don't think they would have focused on the Kavanaugh trial if it wasn't a Republican. If he wasn't a Republican. But the thing is, and they're already going after another Republican right now. What about all the things Democrats have done? Now, if you remember when Clinton was in there, all the things that happened under his administration, well, he kept things smooth and pulled a lot of strings, basically, and kept the economy good. Jobs were the best they've been in I don't know how long. The economy was the best it's been in I don't know how long. All of this. The nation's deficit debt was down. Well, the thing is, during that time with his accuser, Monica Lewinsky, what was going on back then, you all know what was happening then. And he was doing things in the White House with her. Well, a few months ago, she came out and said that she should be able to sue him for sexual harassment. And so Bill Clinton, came on 60 Minutes and said, I feel like I've already apologized and this should be dropped. And he said, I apologized a long time ago. He said, I have nothing to apologize for. We're dropping this. So drop it. That's basically what Clinton said. What did they do? They dropped it. They completely dropped it. Why? Because he's a Democrat. I mean, if he had been a Republican or a conservative rather than a Democrat or a liberal, I'm sure that they wouldn't have dropped it and they would have run it into the ground so that he would have no control or say-so or anything in politics, basically. I mean, he would have nothing to... His opinion wouldn't matter because he was Republican or conservative, whatever you want to call it. But Kanye West is right. The Democrat, the liberal media, does run 90% of media, of everything. And there's a large percentage of people whose voices are not heard, which makes it seem like they make it seem as though what they're saying on TV and what they're saying in the media on YouTube, on the internet, in all of this media everywhere, shows and movies and everywhere, all these movie stars and all of these celebrities, quote unquote, what they say is what we think. Letting them speak for us when in fact it's not. Or they think that what President Trump says when he says some things that are a mistake to have said is what we all think, or what everyone that supports some of his policies or supports him as a president, hoping the best for this nation. They feel like, that we all feel the same way he does in every aspect. Or they focus on something he did a long time ago or said a long time ago that was a mistake, and think everyone is like that, when in fact that's not the case. That's just not the case. I mean, for example, I can't stand the sarcastic, hateful things that some of the people, like, for example, maybe Bill Maher would say. I can't stand a lot of the things that he says. He says things that he should not say about a large percentage of people. About people who believe in God or believe in Christ in particular. But yet there were a few political things that he stated that made sense. Or he was stating that they're going to get it to where you can't say anything. They're taking people's freedom of speech away. And he was stating that he said that a lot. If you listen to his speech about what they're calling being woke now to everything, we should change all of our movies and shows that have had something that could be considered harassment many, many years ago, and change it all. And he said, look, this was before what they call woke was even a thing, and that's not the kind of awakened we talk about necessarily, but it's the one they talked about. And he stated several truthful facts. Just like, for example, I don't agree with everything that Bill Maher has to say at all. Actually, I don't like how sarcastic and hateful he is toward believers in Jesus Christ, and Christians in particular, or statements about God that he makes. But I agreed with that, and I agree with some of his things about how he stated that freedom of speech is gone, and that we need freedom of speech, and he's been stating that for many years, and that's true. So the same principle applies, that we don't agree with everything that President Trump states, but we support some of what he has to say and some of his policies, and support him as an individual, hoping that he does the best for this nation as president. But anyway, Kanye West is right that we as a nation have lost our freedom, and that freedom of speech, expression, and freedom of thought. You can't even think a certain way or state a certain thing anymore without being bashed. And if the other side promotes love so much, if the liberal or the Democratic side promotes love so much as they state, why do they hate so much? And why do they spread so much hate and bash so much? If they're anti-hate and anti-bashing and they love, so on and so forth, then why do they do so much of the opposite of that? They really do. So that's just what I have to say. But it was always taught that the Democrats were for the rich, the Democrats were for the poor people, Republicans were for the rich, and now it seems like it's the total opposite. I don't know when that shifted or changed, but that's the way it seems to me. But they silenced. When Clinton said, silence this, they silenced it. No more allegations against him. But yet, and also during the time, if you watch this woman's YouTube channel, she stated that, same thing I'm stating, yes, true sexual harassment, rape, violence against females at all is completely wrong, and I totally disagree with it. And all these things that they're stating, if something was unconsensual and someone raped someone, or someone there was violence or rape and molestation, all this crap. It's wrong that someone harms another individual or is abusive to another person, especially a female. You shouldn't put your hand on a female in violence at all. And that's just how I feel. But the thing is, they wouldn't be focusing on it if they were not Republican, or if they didn't have an agenda. That's basically what I'm trying to state. But Kanye West, what do you think about his speech? What do you think about... Yes, he's had music that's very violent. So, I mean, that's a fact. Yes, I know. But that's all I have to state. I have to end this video now. My foot's cramping. Bye.